Nanami, I owe you an apology. Okay? I said you was gonna get waxed. I have to eat my words. So I'm watching the fight and I'm thinking, see, all that weak point nonsense you was talking about in episode 9, it ain't gonna work. Now look at you. You're about to get your soul touched by this special grade. But at the end of the episode, Nanami basically said, you know what? He let the audience know he was only fighting to fulfill his duty as an employee. Okay? He's a true professional. This dude is a professional. Yo, what's up, guys? We are Chopped Anime, 3 of the almighty Chopped Anime, and we're here to chop up another episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, episode 10. But before we do that, please push the thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't also.
So in this episode, we had 3 main things that happened. We had the whole encounter with Yoshino, him being bullied, that whole flashback, and then Yoshino talking with Mahito. Then we go into Yuji coming in and encountering Yoshino. And then the most hyped part, which was Nanami versus Mahito, which we'll cover at the end.
So pretty much in the beginning of the episode, we get a little more background on Yoshino and him being part of a movie club. And it seems like there's a few bullies that break in and they start bullying Yoshino. And then it pretty much cuts into Yoshino and Mahito kind of conversating with each other. And then, they start talking about the soul and kind of go over kind of how Mahito's power works a little more.
I didn't understand that conversation too much. The closest thing that I understood was the whole philosophy between the soul and body, if those are actually different. Are you still you if you don't have the same body with the same soul? That I think that's where they were going with it, but I'm not too sure.
So Yoshino basically all through his life has been betrayed, mistreated so many times that he no longer expects anything less from humans, okay? He says that he's indifferent. But Mahito exposes that inconsistency in his thinking by mentioning that he still wants revenge on all those who've wronged him. Mahito brings Yoshino into his camp by giving further explanation of his power. Mahito understands the composition of the soul. He explains that the soul comes before the body. The shape of the body is pulled along by the shape of the soul, which makes sense because Mahito's power is that when he touches the soul and disfigures the soul, the whole body becomes disfigured. And he says that the soul is not much different from the body. They're both pretty much similar. That life has no true purpose behind it. The body and the soul just is, which convinces Yoshino, kill if you want to kill, get revenge if you want to get revenge. There is no reason to life. Do what you want. That's basically what he was trying to get at with the whole soul and body thing. They're basically the same thing. There's not much any difference to it. That's it. That's pretty much all he was trying to, do there. So,
Interesting.
Yeah, I think he was pretty much trying to say like humans kind of tie too much idea into things like that, and life just what it is. It just moves on. Humans are just like water. It just exists and continues to exist regardless of whatever you do. Next, we have the part where Yuji encounters Yoshino. So before they start tailing him, it's Yuji and the assistant in the car pulling up to park before they tail Yoshino, and they're discussing what their plan is going to be. So they pretty much have this level 4 curse spirit that they were going to release really to see if Yoshino notices it or kind of how he's going to react to it. So the assistant pretty much gave 4 scenarios that could possibly happen. 1, Yoshino just doesn't see it, in which, Yuji goes and rescues him. 2, Yoshino sees it, can't do anything about it, runs away, and then Yuji rescues him. 3, Yoshino sees it and exercises it, in which case the assistant and Yuji are going to restrain him right away because, they're going to classify him as a bad jujutsu sorcerer, right? Because he's a murder suspect. And 4, if he has powers equal to or greater than a grade 2 sorcerer, they're just going to retreat call for backup, hit up Nanami, and come back.
Yeah, because basically he won't be able to beat, Yuji won't be able to beat somebody that's a grade 2 sorcerer or better. At least that's what they think. So they brought up the chart. The chart I thought was kind of obvious though. Like if a grade 2 sorcerer should be able to beat grade 2 spirit, that means that the grade 2 sorcerer should be stronger than grade 2 spirit. That doesn't necessarily mean that if you can also beat a grade 2 spirit, then you can also beat a grade 2 sorcerer. Because that grade 2 sorcerer should be closer to a grade 1 spirit.
Right.
So then in that scene where Yuji goes and he tries to show that cursed spirit to Yoshino, Yoshino's talking with that teacher that's, I think, is front of his house or whatever. And this teacher just like makes Yoshino so mad because he thinks those bullies were actually his friends. So we kind of see Yoshino pull out it almost looked like similar to Gojo's domain expansion. He was about to do something. I think he was going to use some sort of crazy cursed energy or something like that, but we didn't get to see what it was because Yuji pretty much interrupts him. And then that whole scene happens where Yuji chases off the teacher and then Yuji and Yoshino go somewhere to talk. But I'm curious to see exactly what Yoshino was going to do because it seemed like Mahito taught him something in a pretty short amount of time.
Yeah, I agree with Mayor also. I think he was definitely about to use some cursed energy or a cursed technique or something. Because he did smile after he did the little sign too. And he knew he was about to pull out something. So yeah, I think in future episodes we might see him start using some cursed techniques.
Yeah, it wasn't a regular smile. It was the anime smile. The smirk. There was, oh yeah, I'm about to take care of business right here. So yeah, it is curious as to what exactly did Mahito teach him? Because he clearly wants to put him on, in his side and just use him for his purposes. Like I said in the last video, these cursed spirits are smart.
Yeah,
right? They are methodical. They're using plans here. If they see potential in something, they will use it. So it is interesting to see what will happen next with that whole situation. What we have in store in the future between Mahito and Yoshino's power. So,
and going back to what Gojo said about if cursed energy is proportional to the amount of hate and emotions you have, Yoshino has a lot of hate built up. So I feel like he has a lot of potential to really do some damage there. And he could become a pretty powerful sorcerer.
I agree.
All right, so pretty much here's the meat of the episode. You know what we're talking about. It is the fight we were expecting and we got. It was Nanami versus Mahito. So toss it over to Mayor. What do you guys, what do you think of the fight?
It was a great fight. I always like to talk about stuff like the choreography and everything. You got a bunch of different angles with Nanami really like shifting sides and stuff on Mahito. You got to see how quick Nanami was and how calculated he was. And I always bring this up, and I'm going to continue to bring this up, is that the powers are still very similar to Nen. So Nanami was the one that said that his ability was not as good with Mahito's ability, because Nanami's ability is he can find the ratios and find the weak point. But if Mahito's ability is that he can change shapes and alter them at will, then the weak point is essentially going to move to a different spot. So Nanami can't really use his technique like that. But overall, the fight was pretty awesome. What do you guys think?
Jose, what'd you think?
Look, man. Nanami, I owe you an apology. Okay? I said you was going to get waxed. I have to eat my words. So I'm watching the fight and I'm thinking, see? All that weak point nonsense you was talking about in episode 9, it ain't going to work. Now look at you. You're about to get your soul touched by this special grade. But at the end of the episode, Nanami basically said, you know what? He let the audience know he was only fighting to fulfill his duty as an employee. Okay? He's a true professional. This dude is a professional. Okay? So basically, Nanami was saying initially, I'm going to fight you until I'm off the clock. Sir, you tested my manhood, all right? So I'm putting in overtime just for you, all right? That time and a half just for you. I'm at my limit. I'm gonna show you something, man. Nanami is cold. Jujutsu Kaisen delivers on the fights. I love this show. Keep it coming. I am thoroughly enjoying it. I'm satisfied. So
This man hates overtime so much that he channeled that hate for overtime into actually getting stronger. That's crazy. And Nanami was like, Mahito is very similar to Gojo in terms of personality.
yes, but that gives me also hope for why Gojo found such a liking to Yuji. Yuji has that same playful and what's it called, nice personality, but he doesn't have a sinister spirit to him yet.
Mm-hmm.
That sinister killer instinct.
Right.
Yeah, I think that will come from the Sakuna side. Dang, we ain't seen Sakuna in a minute. You notice that?
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, because Yuji's been on his secret missions, you know.
Yeah, but wait, when he gonna say switch? When he gonna ask him to switch?
I don't know. We could bring that up.
I'm waiting for that to happen, man.
Yeah.
It might be a while.
Yeah,
it might be a few episodes. It definitely might be a few episodes.
You gotta eat a couple.
It might be longer than that though, because that's a big thing for Sukuna. Because I feel like as soon as the switch happens, Yuji's gonna know about it.
Well, you know, like they said, Yuji's definitely fighting in the exchange event. So whenever that happens,
yeah, but
Yuji comes out.
Yeah, and also, Mayor, they made a deal that he switches when he tells him to switch.
Yeah, and for 1 minute.
So Kuna must be just chilling right now. Must be sitting back, just chilling. Like
he don't see nothing interesting.
He don't see nothing. Yeah, he don't see nothing to switch for.
Yeah,
he gonna switch at that tournament. You right. He gonna switch at the tournament. The
he
tournament.
might fuck around.
A lot of stuff gonna go down at that tournament.
I was actually afraid that Nanami was still gonna die. It wasn't until the ending scene where he got that power up or whatever that I was like, all right, Nanami, he should be fine there. I was getting all the red flags this episode about Nanami.
I thought I was right. I was wrong.
Also about Mahito's ability. So he actually attacked the soul instead of the body there. And Nanami subconsciously, he protected his soul with the cursed energy. So Mahito was saying that a few more hits and Nanami is basically going to be under his control. And that's a first rank sorcerer right there. So if any other sorcerer got hit, it probably would just be 1 or 2 hits to the soul and then you're done. So Mahito is definitely a very dangerous person. And he can alter his body to like move faster. I think he got like the hover or whatever to really like launch himself and move. So now we know exactly how powerful Mahito could be. Just a few hits and you're done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the next episode will show us just exactly what we're dealing with because he's a grade 1 sorcerer against a special grade curse. So, you know, we're gonna see if the scale is correct here. You know, if these special grades. The one thing I'm trying to see are these special grades that are so sentient and able to speak, are they able to beat all of the sorcerers except Gojo? That's what I'm just trying to figure out. Is Gojo the only hope for these guys? I'm just trying to figure it out. So,
do you think Nanami could have beaten Jogo, the volcano guy?
I think he would be better matched up against him more than he is with Mahito. So I think so, maybe, possibly, because you know, according to the scale, you know, a sorcerer grade 1 should have enough strength to, you know, fight a special grade at least, and it seems like Nanami is one of the top grade 1s. So I could see him beating Jogo.
Yeah. The only thing I have to question is because that chart was created prior to them knowing about these type of special grades, the ones that are all earth and nature and all these type of things. They that can communicate, that can speak. These seem to be a different level of special grade than they're used to seeing. I don't think Jogo is a good. I'm sorry. I don't think Gojo is a good measure of anything. We should just stop seeing him fight people because we don't know. Everybody's a walk in the park for him. I just need to see. this is why this fight is so important, because we get to see grade 1, a normal grade 1, not weirdos like Gojo, versus a special grade, one of the super special grades.
Gojo wants Yuji to be as strong enough to beat Jogo. So by the time the tournament comes, almost, that's kind of what it seemed like. So definitely that he's not going to be as strong as Nanami by then. So Nanami is definitely can beat Jogo.
So this is good, man. I'm looking forward to the next episode to see where we're going with this. You know, predictions for the fight. Who wins? Runaway, Nanami.
Nanami's going to have to run away. Because Mahito's not going to go down, so, and it doesn't seem like Nanami's going to go down either.
Okay.
You know, it's interesting. I think Nanami might go down because Mahito was, you know, talking about how he would make a great test subject. So he really wants him to be this next evolution of his test. So I think Mahito's going to definitely try his best to capture him somehow, or, you know, like we mentioned earlier, pretty much get him under his control so he could control his soul.
Before episode 10, I would have said Mahito is still going to win this fight, but overtime Nanami is not the same as regular time Nanami. Okay, time and a half Nanami is going to take care of business. Next episode, I'm calling it. So that's episode 10. Please like, comment, subscribe, leave your comments, your prediction of who's going to win. Chopped Anime.